No, no. Hi, folks. Welcome to another Real and Raw conversation. This time, we're going to focus on marketing and social media, which is something that we cannot walk away from these days. There's no way to escape. Like it or not, it's part of our lives, and we need to make the most of it. And to do so, I think the best way is to talk to experts. And that's why I brought Jane Valentine to the conversation. I think she can share valuable insights from many angles, I say, from an entrepreneur perspective, from a user point of view. So I think she has a lot to say on that regard. Her journey on a personal level is also quite fascinating. She spent some time here in Ireland, so I'm looking forward to explore that Irish connection. She is now back in her home country in Spain, so I'll be also interested in seeing how is it to go back to your home country after living abroad, and what are the challenges from running a business from a country like Spain that is a heavily tax regulated. So that's what we are here for the next 1 hour, 1.5 hours. If you are into this sort of conversation, stay around. Chat box is open, so make sure to put the questions, queries, comments there. If you know someone who is into this sort of dialogues, share. I'll be happy to get this thing spread to other people. If you have enjoyed what we have been doing so far and you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you are satisfied with the content that you have delivered, please press that like button below. Jane, you are very welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate Victor for inviting me to be here, and I'm just so happy, and as well being able to talk to the Irish audience because I have a lot of appreciation to Ireland, I have to say, because as we talked, I lived like around 5 years there. And well, it's just nice to be here, I have to say so. So thanks for your introduction.
Delighted. Delighted. So before just to start the conversation, I just want to highlight that this episode is sponsored by Travel Device. So if you are into a group tour or you want to go somewhere and are unsure about the itinerary or the schedule, I suggest you to contact Travel Device. And I have a discount code in the description. So just use it when you contact Travel Device. The contact details are in the link. So send them an email, ring them, and tell them that the discount code will apply, and they will make sure that they can build an itinerary according to your needs and wishes. So over to you now, Jane. I want to ask you, how did you start this journey? Was there like a moment where you felt that you had to reinvent yourself and come up with a personal branding and also the company Icon Brand Firm?
Okay, definitely. That was a hell of journey, I have to say so, when I had to decide to take that decision. I was working a normal job actually in Ireland, and I was finishing my degree in businesses and in IT. But it was a process when I started to learn about marketing in general, something that started to come up very natural to me, understanding about social media and how branding works. And at the same time, I was kind of experimenting a little bit with my Instagram. And well, eventually I started to do like a professional studies. I studied a little bit more, like some professional courses here and over there. And after a while, I was, because in this story, there are two transitions. Is because when you have to decide, I will work for a company or I will go through entrepreneurship. And I have to say that I've been someone who I kind of enjoy being an independent person. And I just thought like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I should try doing this. And after a while, at the same time, I started like to grow a lot of good connections online of people from different parts of the world. Some people they are as you are in Ireland. Some people they are in United Kingdom. Some people they are in Canada. Some people they are in United States. And right now, this space is growing so much. Like we can be around the world and having this international space, and we connect through internet and social media. We're getting to know people from everywhere, and everyone is doing their businesses. So I just thought like, this is amazing, and it's something that I should start doing. And I went into the rabbit hole. I decided to go through entrepreneurship. Suddenly, I just had my marketing agency. I was a founder, and that was I just thought this is crazy, but it's happening.
How long was the process from the time that you said, I want to change my life, I want to go that route, until you have, let's say, things in place and you start to have a routine around it?
Sorry, can you say again?
Yeah. So how long was the process? Okay, from the moment that you started to go in that direction, okay, until you were somehow established. Let's say from A
Yes.
to Z. How long was that journey?
Um, well, I will say that for me, when I started, it depends because I had some knowledge already and I was quite familiar with some topics and all. I will say that I started to gather my first clients after 3, 6 months. And eventually I was more established. I will say that established as a company itself, it was 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those things that are not overnight. Like one needs to be patient, understand that there are steps, and there'll be
Definitely.
obstacles along the way. So, how did you manage those situations where you felt, yeah, this was going well, but all of a sudden things are not as good as they were in the past, and there are some negative emotion that comes to that. So, what would be your advice for someone who is this journey, and there are some, some holes along the way?
Yes. I think you have to work a lot with your mindset, and you have to think a lot about that this struggle or this sometimes that you will have those challenges. They are part of the journey, and it's a part of becoming the person that you're meant to be. It's like you have to work a lot in your mindset, and at the same time you have to learn to be very grateful, because sometimes when we are going through some challenges, we are learning because it's part of the process of learning and having this type of mindset about towards growth. Like when you have a struggle, you have to think like, this is part of my journey, that you are in a journey, that you have to think that you are in a journey. And those are important lessons, because at the end of the day, when you overcome those struggles, you realize that there were a lot of wisdom in it. And in the future, that kind of wisdom is going to help you a lot in your work or in your company or even in your everyday relationships.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's all about taking things as natural and acceptance. No, that helps a lot. If
Exactly.
you take things as they are and don't make
Exactly.
a big deal out of it, you just see them
Exactly.
as they look and don't add additional heads to that monster. You just realize that those things need to happen, because if you are alive, some
Exactly.
bad situation will arise, and yeah.
Exactly. And as I'm saying, I think that is part of the journey, that you have to think that you are in a journey where you're becoming uh, uh, someone else. It's like you're shaping yourself in a sort of way, and it's beautiful at the same time. So you have to see the beauty in it as well.
Yeah, Yeah, no, it's exactly like that. That's how I
Mhm.
approach problems. Like they are. I just try to be spontaneous about what's happening. With everything. Even I don't want to be like very much philosophical here, but even about death, let's say, you need to take it
Yes,
as a natural way. It's part of life. It's there.
exactly.
It is how you manage that will determine how you feel, and then
Exactly.
if you are able to manage your sentiments, then I think you are on a better position to succeed.
Definitely. Yeah, that's important. And I will say as well, like as you're saying about the emotional part, the feelings and sentiments, you have to be able to, in a sort of way, be mindful, a little bit a stoic as well. And we are going through philosophy. And at the same time, have practices like if you're very stressed, you should go for a run, do exercise, workout. It's going to help a lot. Sometimes it's just not even to shape your body, it's just to release that stress. It
Yeah.
becomes part of it. And meditation or mindfulness, it can help as well. There's another tools that they are very good for it. Or sometimes take one day off. It's like you realize like the situation that is going on, probably there's not a quick solution right now in the moment. Take the day off and breathe. Breathe a little
Yes.
bit.
Yeah. Yes. It's that step back. You need to detach what's happening and get busy with something else, because then you understand that life is not only about that bad situation. There is much more to your life than that. Okay, that
Exactly.
went wrong. Okay, it sucks. Okay, we acknowledge that. But there are so
Yes,
many other things, and if you look at this tiny detail, it means almost nothing.
exactly. Exactly. Life and death.
So one skill that you talk a lot, and I think it's key for someone to thrive in, not only in business but in life as such, is confidence. I think everyone aims to be confident, and some people think they are, but when they face tricky situations, they realize that they are not as much as they desire. So, what would be your
Yes.
advice for someone to build up their confidence?
Okay, confidence, I think, is one of my favorite topics, I have to say so. And it's very a broad topic, I have to say as well, because confidence, um, it can be built as well, because confidence, it can be competence. It's like more things you achieve, you start building confidence. But at the same time, you have to be a little bit humble, like learning to be a little bit humble in a sort of way, and being in a manner that you have a lot of acceptance, because you have to accept yourself like radically and embrace who you are, because that's other thing, like we need to embrace our true self. And when we are embracing our true self, and we accept ourselves in a radical manner, because what is happening at the same time, why I'm explaining this is because sometimes you will expose yourself in social media. And if you want to attract the right people to your door, you need to show your true self. And sometimes, that is what is going to happen, is like some people won't like you, and they will be in the comments, and being very rude. And that's when the confidence works, because you have to accept yourself fully, and accept that with love as well. And confidence just shows up like you allow yourself to be you, fully you. And basically that's what I will say about confidence. And
Yeah,
it's two things, like accepting yourself fully, and developing your persona as well. Like you have to develop like your own personality, because we need that personality. For the reason I said, like my brand is Icon Brand Fern, like you become this iconic version of yourself.
yeah,
And that's what I think. And at the same time, when you see the problems, and kind of, as we talk, like the struggles, see as it is, and tackle them. Like like that's the way that you're going to build the confidence that you need, like resolving problems.
Yeah, yeah. I usually say that authenticity is sexy because it makes you unique, no? There are not many
Exactly.
people who are fully themselves out there, so you will stand out for showing up who you are, and that's already something. That's
Yes,
already something that will uh, uh, set aside you from the crowd. So that's a skill. If there's no other, just show up how you are with your faults, with your flaws,
exactly.
with things that you don't know, because people will be interested. Here is someone that is tangible. Here is someone that is a proper human being, and it's rare.
Exactly.
So that being rare is a good thing.
Exactly. That's what you're saying, that I really like. And as you're saying, accepting your flaws, because some people, I feel that's the real problem. Because sometimes if you don't know something, just accept that you don't know something and you learn from it. Or if you don't understand something quite well, accept that. Just accept that, because it's part of your journey. You're learning that, and that's who you are in that moment.
Mm.
I like that what you said.
Thank you. In terms of social media exposure, uh, have- do you believe that there is a limit for someone to be and about on the likes of Instagram or TikTok? And if there is, where do you draw the line?
Sorry, I didn't hear you well.
No problem. I was just interested in your thoughts on social media exposure. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I would like to understand if, from your point of view, there
Mm-hmm.
is a limit for one to expose him or herself online, and if there is a limit, where is it?
A limit.
Yeah, how much of the personal life do you think
Oh,
can be shown?
I think it should have a limit. We need our own space, definitely. I think you need to know where to put the line. And I think it's important to know what you are offering exactly, what you are offering to your audience, and you can share around that. But there's some personal stuff that I think it should be private.
Yeah, I understand. Like it's very attractive to uh, show some of our personal aspects, but there
Yes,
should be there should be a filter. There should be a filter. Like
it
there should
should
be
be a
something. That's why they are called private. No, otherwise they will be the same. It's just
exactly,
the
exactly.
definition talking.
Definitely. You should decide which part of you they are just for yourself, for your family and your friends, and which ones they are not for your audience in general.
Mm.
And that's important because there's where you have your self-control as a person, I will say, because all we are human, all we have insecurities, all we are growing, and those are the parts that I think they should be private as well.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And how would you go about using social media? Okay, using for your own benefit, but then I'm very interested in these limits. Like, but then what is the moment that you should say that's enough? Would you recommend your clients to, I don't know, set up some specific hours to be on social media, put some alerts on the phone, because you can get hooked, and then all of a sudden it's midnight.
It's true. It's true. Um, well, if it's possible, I would recommend that you should have two phones, two cell phones,
Mhm.
because one should be for your work on social media and the other one should be more for your personal stuff. And you should have like, um, depending on what you are working on, but you should have like a proper schedule, and you have to be very mindful with that schedule where you can connect or disconnect.
Mm. Yeah, I
That's
think
what
that
I would say.
yeah, I think that's a very healthy way of approaching
Yes.
the
But
life on the scale.
I will not say as well, like if you kind of lose a little bit control of it, because as you're saying, like sometimes we have fear of missing out, like we want to be there, like what's happening in the world at midnight or what is happening in the world in the other part of the world. we
Yeah.
are we have curious minds. That's the way that we are built. So sometimes if things just go out of your hands, it's not just to feel like bad for it, but you have to be very mindful. Like if you got off of track, just come back. Come back
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
the habits, because it's good for your mental health as well. um Too much social media, sometimes we can go a little bit too anxious, living life very anxious. We disconnect from the people who are around us. Like we are not capable sometimes. Like if you are in an extreme case, sometimes you will be on your phone 24/7 almost, and will be people in front of you, and you won't be able to have a proper conversation. Things of the level, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the kind of business that the two of us are, we end up
Yes.
spending more time with people on screens than in real life, which is mad. You know? If you
Yes.
think about it, it's mad, and the tendency is to go that way. It's not going to change, at least in the next, I don't know, 5-10 years. Like, let's say I speak maybe with, I don't know, 5 to 10 people, 5 to 10 people a day on a
Yes.
screen. Okay, and
That's.
face to face. Okay, there's my girlfriend at home,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I meet someone. That's it. Okay, I might talk to someone on the gym in the
Mm-hmm.
morning, or but that's it. That's it.
Yes.
It's a massive discrepancy. And if you would tell that to our parents, let alone our grandparents, they will
Yes.
think that we have a crazy routine.
That's true. That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. They wouldn't believe it.
yeah. Let's now focus on your time in Ireland. So I think for we exchanged a couple of private messages, and you were always nostalgic for Ireland. At least that was my impression. I'd like
Oh,
to understand.
100%.
I'd like to understand why is that? What is Irishness that connected that much with you and you brought in your heart back to Spain?
Okay. Well, I think I like Irish people's personality. I think they are quite warm in some sort of way, that they are very friendly. And I met a lot of people there that I will say I kept them in my heart, as you're saying. And that gave me a lot of nostalgia sometimes about the country and the experiences that I lived there. Like I made friends. I had a relationship, a personal relationship there as well. And at the same time, like a lot of growth. I lived a lot of growth in the country as well, because working in my 9 to 5 job and studying as well. And it was a full experience, I have to say so. And it's a other level experience, I would say, because of the weather. You feel somehow you are in another reality, which I like it, I have to say so.
Hmm. Yeah, the Irish weather is something that I believe you cannot tell to someone who haven't experienced, because
No,
there are no words, there are no image. You have to
no.
spend some time here. I'm not talking about a weekend or a month. You need to spend, say, at least 1 year to see how the
Yes,
seasons change and how the seasons change on the same day.
exactly. That's what I will say. So, um, at the same time, I feel like I have a type of adventurous spirit.
Mm.
So I feel like being there and experiencing the weather, and sometimes you were in a pub and you were talking with the strangers, because as I'm saying, people is very warm over there. I felt like this is nice. It's a nice experience.
Yeah, 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 100%. Where in Ireland did you live?
I lived in Dublin. I lived in Dublin.
Uh, well, what part of Dublin? I'm curious.
Actually, I moved a lot, but I lived for a while in Dublin 7, and which is kind of close. Brunswick Street is called. Is
Yeah.
very close to the river. Which other part I forgot? Finsboro, close
Yeah.
to Dublin
Yes.
7 as well,
Hmm.
and close to Shannon Park was the last place that I lived. I lived in three
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. So you were a North Sider for the most
Yes,
part.
I spent more in the north side.
What brought you to Ireland?
Well, I wanted to learn English because when I arrived in Ireland, I wasn't an expert in the language. I have to say so. And I wanted, and well, there's a lot of promotional stuff over here about going to study Ireland, living the Irish experience, and living this new experience going abroad. And I just felt like I was in my 22, 23 years old, and I was like, let's do this. Like, what should I do right now? I should go to Ireland and learn English. And it's supposed I will be there for just 1 year maximum, but I ended up living there 5 years. It's like
Mm.
it
Yeah.
was it was crazy.
It's formative. I think when you move at that stage of your life, it's going to have a huge impact. It's different, let's say, if you move in your 30s. Now, if you move that young, because I mean, you're very
Yes.
young at the age of 22, 23, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
have a massive impact in your life. I think I haven't told you that, but I also moved at the age of 23 and I moved to Spain. I
Yes.
haven't told you that. Yes, yeah. I lived in Barcelona for nearly 4 years. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
And do you feel nostalgic about Barcelona?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like it's not visible now, but I will send you a photo.
Okay.
On the wall, I have 9 canvas just here. Okay, and each of the canvas is one of the cities where I lived. So there is Barcelona, and there is
Okay.
also Vilanova da Geltrú, which is I don't know if you are familiar. It's about 70 kilometers away from. It's next to Sitges. Maybe you know Sitges on
Uh,
the
where,
on the coast.
where do you say the
It's
last place?
Vilanova da Geltrú. It's
Oh,
towards Tarragona.
oh. No,
Yeah,
I don't
and
know that place, but I will take a eye for it. I will
yeah,
look for it.
yeah. Yeah, no, I am nostalgic about Barcelona like for some time. Like I felt that I kind of reborn there. It was
Yes.
my second time I came to work because I felt it was like going back to year zero because I was restarting. So I owe a lot to Barcelona, and I learned plenty of things there by talking to people, by going to
That
situations that I never had.
that's what I mean. Like as you're saying, when you're in your 20s, like your early 20s, you're seeing the life different, and probably, as you're saying, the country that you decide to move is like very impactful for you for the reason, and you're just full of life as well, and you are very open to everything, and so
Yes, yeah.
that's what is happening.
And
Um,
also, I think it helps you to, as we were just saying a while ago, it helps you to approach things in a very natural way because you'll be exposed to circumstances that are unexpected, but then you just need to deal with them on the spot because often when you are abroad, you are on your own. You have
it's
friends, fine,
true.
you
It's
have
true.
colleagues, but it's different than when parents and close relatives are around.
Yes, yes, that's the thing. Like you become very independent, and somehow it's like you become stronger. I feel like it's the type of experience that you will say like this will shake other people probably, but it doesn't shake me. I don't want
Yes.
to sound like that, but that's how it feels.
Yes, yeah. Do you
Mhm.
think that the fact that you spent some time in Ireland, those 5 years, somehow
Mhm.
impacted your decision to start doing your own business? Or, in other words, if you had stayed in Spain, would that have happened or not really?
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, we never know,
um,
but we can guess. Yeah.
Yes, probably did impact. It did some impact because yes, because I'm someone who is very determined and I work hard. I will say so. And maybe if I would have stayed in Spain here, I would have decided just to have a more relaxed life because you know the culture.
Yeah.
But going through Ireland, I have to overcome a lot of challenges, and I was like, I'm ready for a new adventure. So probably it did indeed influence my decision to go through entrepreneurship.
Mm. Is there anything that you dislike about Ireland?
Well, the weather, I like it and I dislike it. It's a low hating.
Yeah.
Um, but the other thing that I will say that I don't like too much about Ireland, it's like, and I don't want to sound bad, but it's like there's a lot of homelessness going on.
Yes.
There's a lot of drug problems on the
Yes.
streets and the mental health as well. Like some people, we need to take more attention over there, I think, to mental health issues. That's what I will say that it's a problem. But anything else, I think it's a very beautiful country with a lot of potential. And I really hope, like in the future, things will get better in that sense. And what it needs to be explored to become a better country, it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's a lot on the authorities, on the politicians, and I don't have a lot of faith on, on those individuals, not only in Ireland but all over the world.
Yes.
I really don't.
The housing problem right now as well is like a big deal, I think.
Yeah.
It is something going on very hard over there. But as I'm saying, I really hope that in the future things get better for the country. And let's see what happens. I can come back.
Yeah. Why did you leave?
I decided that it was because I was going through entrepreneurship, and I decided that the prices and the quality, like, how will I say this? The amount of money that I needed to live, the cost of life, it will be like a little bit cheaper in Spain than living in Ireland. And because I
Yeah.
was going through entrepreneurship, I think it was wiser for me to take that step.
Yeah. 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 One needs to be pragmatic and adapt, and if that takes to revocate, then well, it is what
Yes,
it is.
yes, that's how it is. Um, but as I'm saying, uh, Ireland is quite beautiful, and let's see what happens in the future.
Would you consider coming back to Ireland?
I don't know yet, is if I'm honest. I feel like my journey, I'm someone who is very intuitive, I have to say. And sometimes I feel like when somewhere or some places are calling me, I should go over there. And I feel like right now in this moment, I should stay over here. But let's see what happens if maybe I decide to even explore. Oh my God. Is there? I have heard a lot about Portugal as well. I see like there's a lot of entrepreneurship going on in Portugal, and some people are deciding to go remote and living in Portugal. So it's something that I want to see as well.
Yeah, actually, one of the areas where people move for that purpose is Madeira. The island
Mm,
next to the Canary Islands, and I think there is also I don't know the details, but I think there is some sort of incentive if you have a business, um,
mm,
um, if you make the residence of your business Madeira. So maybe it's something worth to explore. Now, it's not a very cheap place to live. Of course, it's not Ireland, but it's
Okay.
it's almost as expensive as Lisbon. So I would say I don't know, but it's cheaper than Madrid, because you are based in Madrid, right?
Yes, I'm based in Madrid right now.
How was it to go back to your home country? Like, I'm very curious to get your perceptions. That's on the first 2 weeks. Was it weird? Was it positive? How was it?
It was quite strange because I feel like after you have spent so much time abroad, it's like, as I'm saying, some experiences they shape you differently. And when you come back, you have to get along and get used to things that you just forgot.
Yeah,
So somehow it's just you're thinking like, I didn't remember things were like that, but they are who they are. It's like, yes, basically. And as I'm saying, like cultural stuff here is more relaxed, more take your time. And well, I'm a person who is quite active, who is very in the move, always going and always working. So some
yeah,
people is like, for them is like, why do you work so much? Why are you doing this? Why? And sometimes you feel a little bit guilty because you see everyone enjoying themselves, right? And those questions I didn't have them in Ireland. It's like everyone knew they have to work.
yeah. It's there is a difference. There's a difference. So, do you think this mañana reputation it's accurate, or it's just a urban legend?
Which one?
The mañana uh, thing of Spain. The tomorrow that they say. Uh, are you familiar with that? That they say the Spanish people operate under the mañana, like tomorrow we
It's
will
like
do it.
we always say like we're going to do things mañana.
Yes, yeah.
And
You haven't heard that one. That's why even me as a Portuguese man, I heard it. Oh, you probably are a mañana person that you're going to do it tomorrow. Yeah, it's a saying
yes,
for
yes,
the Spanish. Do you
yes,
think
yes,
that's
it
right?
is.
Hmm.
Um, well, as I'm saying, everyone has their own personal point of view of life, right? But somehow, because I've been someone who has been open to explore and know different perspectives. So I feel like I am more the kind of person who say I will do this now. I do it in the moment, and I work on things. I don't do things tomorrow. It's not there's no mañana mañana for me. For me, it's now.
Yeah. I like the saying the best time to do something is now.
Is now
And
exactly.
and it is. How do you go about like establishing a work routine to make sure that you accomplish your goals? You keep track of what you are doing. Do you have some sort of methodology?
Yes, indeed. 100% you have to work on your habits, I have to say, your habits and your schedule. It's like you have to be very mindful the hour you finish the day and you start the day. And you have to always know and be sure what you have to do. It's like if you say at 6 or 8, I do my breakfast, be there at that hour. If you at 9 or 10 you start working, be there at an hour that you need to be working. And you have to be very firm with your schedule. But at the same time, you have to plan the schedule. I plan my schedule on Sundays, and it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. They are very kind of stricted days, very rigid days. But mostly, I try the days that I feel more energy because we need to track how are we feeling as well. I feel like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They are the days that we have the most energy. And there is when you have to tackle the most difficult things that you need to do of the week, and you have to as well like set the goals for the week and set the goals for the day. And At the same time, I do recommend that you only need to do 3 things per day. Like you have 3 goals to do per day, and if you do something extra, is just is extra. You it's something that you want to accomplish to feel better, to feel more pride, because at the same time, when we finish something and we say like I'm going to do this Monday, and you finish the things that you need to finish, I think you create this sense of pride and confidence, as we talk as well.
So you mentioned that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays are the days when you are more energized. So I'm delighted that I set it up on a Tuesday, because then I have you at 100%. Today is Tuesday. So what a coincidence.
Yes, yes. I have to be fresh for the podcast.
And you are.
And thanks. Yes, and mostly Tuesday and Friday, Thursday and Friday. There are days that you can try to do things more relaxed. Like you can do things, but not in a manner that I have to do this now, right now. Like you have to be firm. But Thursday and Friday is more relaxed. Like you just working in a chill vibe, and you get things done.
Yeah, no, I totally relate to that. Just I operate on a day-to-day basis. So what I mean by that is I try to do the most important stuff early in the morning. So I prioritize that to be done first. So you mentioned Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So for me, it's the morning of each working day, because I believe that I have more stamina. I have high levels of focus, so I can deliver best in the morning. So I make sure that the things that require more from me, I do them first, and that's the morning. And I also like to wake up early, say 6 o'clock, hit the gym, come back to work, say around
That I think
eight,
that's the
half past
key.
8.
That's the key, having like a clear schedule and a clear mind. Like you have to do your to-do list, and you see what's going on and what's the most difficult thing, as you're saying. In my case, I decided that I'm going to do it weekly, and I decided like there's these things that we need to do through the week, and we're going to sort it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I kind of tried what you're saying as well, but I think it worked more for me in that manner, because I figure out as well, like sometimes we work a little bit different. We can try different stuff, but never forget the main goal, that is doing your things and having a clear schedule.
Yeah, 100%. You talk about to-do list, and I think that's brilliant. Like if you have a to-do list, like the main benefit, I think it's evident that you can keep track of what you
Yes,
need to do and what has been accomplished. I think that's
exactly.
obvious. But one that people are probably not aware, if they haven't experienced working with a to-do list, is when you finish one task, saying, I don't know, prepare the podcast, and
Mm,
you physically with a pen go there and say done. It feels great, and if
it feels
throughout the
good.
day you collect these positive emotions, it's
Yes,
amazing, because you go through the day, and you, instead of being, let's say, more and more tired because you're like, oh,
you
here's
get
another task,
energized, right?
like, okay, one off the list, second off the list, third off the list. Let's say you have 5. Okay, only 2 more. And then by the time you wrap it up, let's say in the evening, you feel satisfied, because you look at what you were meant to achieve, and you did. And the other way around, let's say you didn't succeed, then you're gonna feel bad about it, and you tell yourself, I'm not going through this again. I will make sure that I get things done, because this is heavy, and I don't want to
It's
have that
true.
weight on
It's
my
true.
shoulders. So managing your feelings and sentiments, it's crucial.
It's true. It's true. That's important as well. It's like keeping on track all those things and congratulating yourself, like celebrate yourself when you do something as well. Like, wow, I did it. Well done. It's very important.
Yeah, I think especially in situations like ours, that we We work for ourselves. So there's a lot of self-talk. Okay. And we
That's
need
the
to be
thing.
aware of that. And you can be worse than the worst of the managers, worst of the bosses out there. You know,
It's
you
true.
can you can even feel, you can even miss that boss you had in your 9 to 5 job because you've been too harsh with yourself. So you want to
It's
make sure
true.
that your self-talk is
It's
productive
very important.
and it makes sense. Let me go now. No, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, yes. What I want to say that it's very important to have the self-talk and that it has to be positive and do not be harsh with yourself, as you're saying. It's very important. As you're saying as well, like working in a remote manner or starting this type of projects, you will have a lot of things going on in your head. And other thing that I would recommend as well is doing journaling. In
Yes.
my case, it helps a lot.
What kind of clients you deal with? I'm sure it's a diverse crowd, but what will be, let's say, the main profile?
Well, people who are looking for to launch, they are looking for to create. Well, maybe they don't know yet, but they need a brand because it's quite often to hear like I only need to start creating some content and that's it. Well, that's the problem because when you start just creating content, random content, and you don't know your direction, that's when you can get like quite sad and you start to seeing like I'm not growing, and probably you end up giving up. So people who are quite looking for to start and they are looking for like to monetize their passion because at the same time some people they have some passion and knowledge that they would like to start exploding. And right now I'm trying to focus a lot with coaches because there's like the coaching programs that they offer and they don't know how to market themselves, they don't know how to differentiate themselves, they don't know and there's where branding is important because it's like people they can start to recognizing you with branding because branding is a lot about how people remembers you.
Yeah.
So basically
Wh-
that type of profile is just in conclusion the type of profile of people that who are looking for to start, they don't know how to start and they have something that they would like to share and they know it works. We need to validate that.
what's most relevant, the product or the person behind the product? Or let's say, what's the percentage split
I
typically?
will I will say the person
Mm,
it is quite I will say is quite how can I say polemical. It's quite crazy to say like the person, but
mm,
as I talk with all the clients that I work with, I said like you are the reflection of your business. Like you are the cornerstone of your business. Your way of thinking is going to be part of the culture of your business. So for the reason sometimes I do quite introspective questions like what's your mission, actually your mission, what you're looking for to do today, because a mission itself is what you're looking for to help in this world. Maybe it sounds corny, but it's not actually,
mm,
because business is you're trying to do something positive. So you think like what is your mission in this world today, and your vision is what do you expect to see in 3 5 years. An example of it could be like someone saying that they went through the experience of losing weight, like probably they had problems before in the past because they were a little bit overweight, and they found passion through the process of losing weight, and now they want to help with that, and that's the mission, like helping one person per day to find courage to lose weight. That's example. And what do you expect for the future? It's like in 3-5 years, I will have help like 100, 200. You can use a number, or you can use a location of people to lose weight. And those are papers work that goes in the background of creating the brand, because the brand is like the strategy. So I will say the person. The the
Yeah.
the the first thing that is more important is the person. And at the same time, we work with personality. We work with the voice that you share, like how you express yourself is your voice on internet. And sometimes on branding is going to happen that if you have your voice very clear how you are, some people they will not need to see you, but if they hear you, they will know like, oh, is this person? That's part
Yeah.
of their brand.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's vital to build a style, of course, a good
Exactly.
one that people can recognize. Okay, this sounds like Vitor. You might
Exactly.
dislike it, but at least there is an identity about it, and it takes time to create. But once you recognize the patterns and how you can utilize that, say, in your favor, go for
Exactly.
it and explore it to the most of
Exactly.
your ability.
Yes. Um, yes, and that's other thing that I kind of educate people to when they work with me, because sometimes it's, as I'm saying, some people they just wanna go straight to create content, and
Mm.
I think it's important to start doing the reps, that to start creating content, but it's better if you do it with direction, and you know where which one are the key indicators that you're looking for to hit.
Mm.
And having a clear strategy of how people will reminding you, and that's part of the brand.
Some people on social media, they tend to come up with a, how they call it, a persona. Yeah, with a persona.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
they use that to promote their product, their thinking, their ideas.
It's
Uh,
like alter
what's your
ego,
view on
no?
that? Yes, like alter ego. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your view on someone raising that person that is it's not the same person as they are, but at the same time it's a creation of theirs.
I think as we were talking about authenticity and confidence, I think it's something that is inside them, like it's there, it's part of their true selves, but they do not feel safe in everyday life to show that version of themselves. And maybe because at the same time probably it's a very exaggerated version of themselves, but it doesn't mean it's not true, right?
Yes.
So, and that's the part of social media as well, that it helps you to explore those parts of yourself and be free and expose that alter ego of your own selves, of yourself. And I think it's good if you, that's the part of, that's the way that you want to approach social media, you can do it. Why not? And some in some sort of level as well, like you can talk to your audience like, this is not me in my real life, this is not me in my everyday life. I'm more quiet, I'm more shyer, I'm more um, different parts of
Mm.
me that I don't show, but I show here.
Yeah, yeah. I think there is a responsibility when you are facing a camera, no? Because uh, there's a chance that at least one person is watching you. So you need to be interesting. You need to be uh, to a certain degree
Entertaining.
juicy. Yeah, entertaining.
Mhm.
You need to be
Mhm.
to a certain degree juicy and spicy, because otherwise, why are you talking to the camera? No, you can speak
Exactly.
to yourself
Exactly.
on the couch, and if it's not you, fine. No, not everyone is mean to talk to cameras. No, I know people
Exactly.
who dislike it. That's fine. But if you decide to pursue that route, that you make a living or you have some side hustle that is camera related, then you need to be somehow extrovert when the camera is there, because otherwise, what's the point?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what you're saying. And well, social media is a lot of about the business of getting attention.
Yeah.
And you have to learn that right now, every day, in everyday context, getting attention is where it's like a currency, to be
Yes.
honest. And if you have proper attention to your own business, it's a 100% chances that probably you will succeed. That there's a good success for you over there. So you have to be able to learn how to create attention to your business. And sometimes, well, as we were talk, um, it's going to be your business is tied to your persona, that is you. So you have to learn how to be that extroverted self, that version that is quite as juicy, or it could be funny, but because some people they are very very funny, or some type of personality that you're looking for to explore more.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, like personally, I find the camera therapeutical. So, what I mean by that, let's say I'm having a day, and then I need to have a conversation like this, on camera.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I feel better. I feel better, and very often when I finish, I'm in a way better mood because I need to go through this, and I want to deliver. I don't want to feel bad about myself when I finish. So I like the idea that uh, I'm accountable by what's going on in front of the camera. It's a challenge, of course. There is some pressure about it, but somehow it's helping me to go on the right direction. There's a Portuguese comedian, okay, who
Okay.
once was in New York. He was there for a Frank Sinatra concert. It was a while ago when Frank Sinatra was already an old man, and
I
he
have heard
managed
about Frank Sinatra.
yeah, and he managed to this Portuguese comedian. He managed to go to the backstage and
Mhm.
see Frank Sinatra a few meters away from him. He couldn't talk to him, but he could
Mhm.
be on the same room as him because he was one of his idols. And Frank Sinatra was an
Wow.
old man. Yeah, that was a dream, and he was old.
Yes.
So he's there in that room among a few others, and he's looking for Frank Sinatra. Because people told him you're going to be in this room and you're going to be in the same room as Frank Sinatra, and he's there for 10, 20 minutes, half an hour, and then no signs of Frank Sinatra. He thought I was I was I was scammed. I
Oh
was
wow.
I was scammed. Sorry, just I got a call here. I was scammed. Um, and all of a sudden, someone approached him and say,
Yes.
"Do you see that old man there at at, at the at the corner?" And he said, "Yeah, I
Mhm.
do. I do. That's Frank Sinatra." He said, "Frank Sinatra is an old man. He's not even walking straight. He looks like sad. He has no brightness. No, that's Frank
Okay.
Sinatra. Just he is old, and he's now going to the stage. He grabs the microphone. All of a sudden, he is 40 year old of age. That's it.
Wow.
Transformation, because it was his passion. All of a sudden, he went from being 88 to or 80, whatever was his age, to
Yes.
40, just
He
because he was on stage. It's
he
amazing.
transports himself.
It's amazing.
Is that's what I'm saying. Um, I kind of like, as you're saying about artists and celebrities, I kind of like the work of Lady Gaga. I
Mhm.
have to say so, because she has been able to manage that, like gathering attention in her own manner, in her own way. And as you're saying, like you're finding therapeutic to be in front of the camera, and that's one of the things that she says a lot. Like, because I took the time to explore these things, And she says like she feels more like herself when
Yeah.
she's in front of the camera. She feels like that's the camera and being on stage is like what was is everything for her because she feels like her, purely like her. And that's what I mean when I say like being your truest version, your truest self.
Mm. Uh, let me now go back to Spain. Like I know by experience, I lived there. Portugal is not that different in that regard. That
Mm-hmm.
taxes are an absolute nightmare, and I think for an entrepreneur, that's not the that's not the best environment. So how do you tackle that living in Spain?
Well, that's to be honest, that's one of the big struggles that I'm working right now. Oh, it's sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm struggling with that with the taxes right now because it's a big problem. Right now, I think it's 21%, but they are talking a lot that if probably we're going to have to pay more. And let's see what happens. I haven't sorted what is going to happen, but I will say that that's a big problem that is going on right now here.
yeah, yeah. I don't understand why they want to increase taxation because that's not a popular thing. No, like usually politicians do what is best for them. They're all of them. They will come up with solutions that will
Yes.
make them popular at the eyes of the public. But increasing taxes, I don't get it.
No, I don't either. I don't know what is the thing that they actually are looking for. Maybe it's other thing that I don't really understand why, but sometimes I feel here in Spain they are not very open to immigration and they are noticing like some people they are deciding to come to live here in Spain and starting their businesses. So I think they are trying to do it difficult, but they are doing things difficult for everyone.
Yeah,
So
I I had a conversation in this podcast with another Spanish uh, guest, and
mm-hmm,
who is a tour guide in Israel, but she is Spanish originally, and
mm-hmm,
we are talking about that it seems that in Spain, and she lived in Portugal as well. So in Spain and Portugal, there is this
mm-hmm,
mindset of all I want is a job in the public sector that I do little. I'm not paid a lot, but at least
mm-hmm.
I have that. I have that
The
income,
income.
and
Mm-hmm.
I can just rest and relax.
Yes, yes. And we talked a little bit about that with you before. I think that I said like kind of the culture is different in that sense here. It's like people rather that like having like a secure job. It doesn't matter if they are not earning much. And with that they are just passing by, like spending their days and having like some days off and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just people are passive, so they don't want to do much, and they like, excuse me, they like the idea of having this big father called state. So the state will
Yes,
look after them. They won't have a marvelous life, but at least they won't starve. And all they need to do is this little effort to make sure that some food is on the table. They can afford to pay their mortgage and go
exactly.
out from time to time.
That's the thing. Probably that's other incentive that is trying, or I don't know exactly, because the thing is like taxes they are not just happening for entrepreneurs or for business owners, as well as going on with housing, rent, and everything. So let's see what happens. Maybe they are looking for to the government is looking for to motivate people to go towards entrepreneurship, like challenging people in some sort of way.
Hmm.
I don't know.
How is the housing situation in Spain? I mean, I'm sure it's bad, but like everywhere. But how much of how much of a nightmare it is?
Oh my god. Well, what is happening as well is like they're trying to increase the rentings when it's about renting, and when it's about having your own place, like buying your own house, there's a lot of struggle to get to that point because you now need more requirements than before. It's like you need at least like 3 5 years being working in the same company, and for business owners like me, we have to show other documents more, and having like 5 years established with a specific income. So being like the owner of your own house or your own place is becoming way more difficult, and the rents are going up.
Yeah, it's mad. It's a completely mad, you know. Like if
Yes.
I just said that in the last podcast, but I need to repeat it because I think it's outrageous. Like I remember, like say, this is people's wages and this is the house the house prices. There was a small discrepancy. House prices went here, wages went there, like this in maybe 10 years. It's mad.
Yes.
I don't know what
Yes.
they are doing with with people's money, but it's absolutely mad. This whole inflation monster, it's destroying lives. I'm very grateful for having bought that apartment last year because
Hmm.
otherwise I'll still be paying rent. I didn't know what to expect year after. I couldn't afford to make bold moves because I was exposed to, um, you know, whatever circumstances that are coming my way. But now at least I have some sort of security. I don't own the place, but at least they cannot kick me out from one day to another. And there's somehow a degree of ownership that will allow me to take steps that before I just couldn't.
Yes. 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 And that's such a relief, I have to say so. Yes. I think even the housing situation is going a lot worse, and it's happening even just in Ireland as how it's happening here. I just thought like I just delayed the problem because that was something that I was struggling with in Ireland, um, and now I'm struggling here as well. So it's a problem that I had to face later or now.
Yeah. Let's talk about something more positive as we come to the last 10 minutes to end up in
Okay.
with a smile. So you do most of your work in English, or do you also have Spanish speakers?
I do both, and yes, I do Spanish speakers and I do English speakers. I have some clients that I work with Spanish. Um, through I have here in Spain, but mostly in Latin American as well. Like I'm open to work with people in Latin America that they are starting their own brands over there.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that's a big privilege that both of us have because with Spanish or Portuguese, we can access parts of the world that are not small. They are actually
Mhm.
relatively large, and they are relevant. Like the whole Latin
Yes.
America, it's
Yes.
accessible for us. That is not accessible for the whole humanity. So that's a big thing.
Yes, yes, it's true. Well, Portugal and Brazil, they are very big countries and they speak Portuguese as well. So being able to speak Portuguese and English is it's a lot of audience, I have to say so.
I
People
didn't know
they,
you
they
speak
can
you speak Portuguese. I didn't know that.
no, it's just I heard like about Portuguese.
Ah, okay, okay. I thought you were able to speak. No problem.
Not
Tell me,
really,
how
but
is it?
maybe one day.
Yeah, with Spanish, it's not as challenging. How is it to work in a bilingual manner? Because I know there are advantages to show up as a native speaker. Maybe you are you know people will treat you with more credibility because you are a native. But then if you are not, people appreciate it. You are able to express yourself in a different language. So how would you approach this situation that you are not a native speaker, but are able to speak fluently as we are speaking now? And I know some people hesitate because they don't feel fully comfortable. So how do you get the necessary confidence to do all of this, which is massive in English?
Well, it's been a process. I have to say that before it was about exposure, that I had to talk with people in general. Like, even if I will speak badly, I will expose myself to the situation. Like, I'm not really, even I will warn people like a little bit, like, I'm in the process of improving my English. So if I say something that it doesn't sound so right or so like proper, um, I I warn you. I told you. I have to say as well, like other things that I tackle things with a lot of charisma, and some people like that because it's a lot of part of being authentic. Because authenticity is something that it can be shared. Like people, you can connect with people while you are authentic, and the language it won't be a limitation.
Mm.
And eventually what happens as well is like, because I have worked, because in my first steps I work with other people, and my English, as I'm saying, it wasn't like amazing or so fluent. But sometimes I will work with people and they will kind of like my personality and style, and they knew that I had the knowledge. They will just accept that, like those strengths that I had. And improving, like talking, because to improve you need to do the things, I will become fluent, and I will become more confident, and I will become more able to do this.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I
Mhm.
think it's good to highlight those traits that we master. Like in your case, is the charisma. So you put it out there,
Mhm.
and that will be vital to uh, gain and maintain your clients. I think it's a very
Yes.
wise way to approach it.
And at the same time, like, you are helping when you are offering your services, you have to have the mindset that you're helping as well. Like, people are looking for something from you as well. Like,
Mm.
you have something valuable to share. So you don't need to feel nervous or anxious or bad, because you can do your work.
Yeah. As we come to an end, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you two things which
Okay.
are about this podcast. I know you watched a few videos in the past, so you are familiar with the content. I would like to ask you, and look, be 100% honest. I know you are, but it's just for the viewers. Huh? So, what is the thing that I'm getting right, and what is the thing that I should improve?
um I have watched a couple, but I haven't taken too much time, I have to say, to watch everything. But I 100%, I promise you that I will do it after this. But
Okay.
um well, what I will say is like, you are doing great in niching, because you are showing people exactly the topics that you are quite around. And as well, like, you are very open to people, like new people can join to your podcast. Now, improvements, maybe it could be a little bit about some level of branding,
Mm.
and those things as well. You're going to need to start improving over time, right? Like, as we're saying, like, some people will need to have like a way to recognize you, and probably you need like a type of tagline, something that you can finish or start your podcast. And that's what I will say to you right now. But over time I can watch more, and I can tell you some details more.
No, that's already a lot of advice, so I'm happy to take it on board. I know there are
Mhm.
things that I've been doing okay, and there are others that I'm not that much of an expert, and there is a lot of room to improve. So I know this is not a journey that you start and succeed, or you start and shine. There will be uh, aspects that you will
Exactly.
modify along the way, and that's great. That's how these journeys are made of. So
Exactly.
in terms of yours,
What I
what
will
is
say
one?
is about working in your signature style. Signature
Mm.
style is like you need to have like some words that you say, mostly like your own phrases that they represent to you, and people will start to listen in some words and they will recognize you. For example, like and having like your, as I say, signature style, maybe you can define it like your personality. Probably you're a little bit philosophical, a deep thinker, or someone more like a that you have to define as well what is your strengths, like what are the topics that you enjoy the most to talk about, probably as well. Those are the things that I will say.
Yeah,
um
yeah. I always try to pay attention to how I feel about what I'm doing. Yeah, is it something that I would like to do it again, or I rather set it aside? And what are
exactly,
people
exactly.
what are people reactions, and try to identify the patterns and make something out of it, because the patterns don't lie.
Hmm. Yes,
Uh,
definitely the patterns, as you're saying, is like you can define exactly what people are enjoying the most and probably what other things they are not reacting so well. But even social even in social media create a little bit of controversy is not bad.
well, I do that very often, I have to say. maybe I can maybe I
So
can do even more.
you're doing great.
Yeah, maybe I can do even more. I can do even more.
So,
I think
and that probably could be your signature style. More be maybe it's more about being a little bit more controversial, like tackling topics that they create this arise, a little bit of argument for some because you have to have different perceptions over
yeah.
there.
Just to finalize, in terms of your own journey, so what is it on the pipeline for the next year and two?
Well, because I have to say that I'm very multifaceted person. Like I have to say that I like to explore a little bit more about in the creative field. But in this case, I'm looking for to automate more the agency, grow and automate it. And I would like to become a little bit more dependent to do more creative stuff, like in the level I like a bit of fashion, a little bit of music, and I would like probably in the future um, thinking about podcasting as well.
Mm.
So let's see what happens.
You have the skills for podcasting. I have no doubt that, and you already um, built your brand, so you can just link the two, because I think the best is when you can feed you can make sure that things are feeding each other. I do that with my books, my podcast, and other things
Exactly,
that I do, and that's the best. That's the best, to make sure that they are all part of the same package.
exactly. You can link everything, and yes, share, and share.
Right. So I just wanna come to a closure here. I wanna express my gratitude for having your insights here. I think they were of great value for individuals who are trying to pursue something social media or internet related, or just a brand that happens offline, but they need to promote it in the, I don't like to call it the real world, but let's say the physical sphere, in lack of a better term. So I think your insights were spot on. So I want to wish you all the best in your upcoming endeavors, and hope you'll be able to uh, build up that work, and others can benefit from interacting with you.
That was awesome, Peter. I'm just so happy that I'm here and you invited me. And well, I just really hope this is not the last time, or let's see what happens and we can keep in touch. And I enjoyed that a lot. And it was nice to have this conversation online with you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Just for the viewers, I want to announce what we have in the pipeline. So tomorrow we're going to discuss talking of controversial topics. We're going to be a group of 6 people talking anti-Semitism. Okay,
Oh, wow.
that's something. Yeah, that's something raises a lot of eyebrows. So 6 of us.
I
There's
see your
myself,
signature style now.
yes. Yeah, we talk about Israel and all that. So we're going to be 6 people here tomorrow discussing anti-Semitism. Why is that a major issue in the current day and age? What we can do to combat it, because it seems that it's not going away. And yeah, there'll be a group of experts, if I can call myself one of them, and we're going to discuss it here. So we'll make sure that you connect tomorrow, same time as today, so 7 p.m. Ireland or UK time. Thursday, we have something completely different. We have the League of Ireland, so it will be football related, same time. So if you are to a more light-hearted team and into football or sports, make sure to connect. Myself, Cornell, will be here discussing the latest on the League of Ireland, on what is in the pipeline. There is more to come, but I will announce perhaps tomorrow, because I think there is a lot of fascinating conversations taking place in the next weeks, like the one we had today. So if you haven't subscribed, press that button below. If you enjoy what we do here, award us with a thumbs up. If you know someone who's into this kind of conversations, it would be great if you can share. And if I know the summer is arriving, not in Ireland, but summer is arriving, and if you are planning to go on a tour, contact Travel Device and use the discount code to get a tour tailored according to your needs and wishes. Maybe going to Spain. Why not?
Why not? We are here in Madrid waiting for.
So thanks very much, Jane, and stay in touch. Take care.
Take care. A pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.